Welcome, everybody. This is the show. This is the day. We're going to rock your world. You're on the Success Secrets for Business, Family, and Life channel. And now it's time to hear the music. We'll be right back in a second. It's the Coffee Break Show. I'm Vicki Helm. It's brought to you by the Metadime Digital Network. Today, I want you to meet somebody that is absolutely one of my favorite people in the world to talk to. And I want to welcome Rajesh Setty to the Coffee Break Show. How are you, my friend?
Very good, Vicky. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm sure we are going to have fun.
Oh, yeah. No matter what we're going to do today we're going to have fun. Listen, I want to tell you about Rajesh. To me, he's one of my friends. And so, yes, he's accomplished a lot. Yes, he's done a lot of things. He is a multi best-selling author. He is a Silicon Valley investor and a serial entrepreneur. He's got all those really cool things and accolades behind him. Good morning. Nice to see you jumping on. Nice to see you. Jane, great to have you here. So, what I want to say is, I see you guys dropping in. Do me a favor, put your name down below and become part of the conversation. Today is going to be all right, you guys. I see you popping on. Thank you. Okay. Welcome, Rajesh. Looking forward to this conversation. So, here's what I want to tell you. Rajesh is just brilliant. And I want to talk about my friendship with him because he is fun and funny all at the same time, and also extraordinarily wise. And he drops these great wisdom bombs as we go on through the day. And in this show, you're going to be able to learn about some of the stuff. And I want to talk everything technology, but I want to specifically talk about some of the projects you're working on right now that are in the hopper. And what do you think how the world is going to be changing with technology right now and moving forward? What can people maybe expect or look out for? And what are the themes that are coming for 2022 in that way in technology?
Very good. I am open to anything. Where do we start? Because we have 1 hour and make the most out of every single minute.
Oh, well, thank you for that. And I'm see you guys coming on. I'm going to get really specific. What is one of the things that's coming out in technology right now that people can look forward to going into 2022 that you think is going to benefit them?
Yeah, I'm thinking that the number of changes that are happening, we're at like a breakneck speed, right? So basically, on one end, Facebook is saying, let's live in the metaverse.
Yes.
Forget about living in the planet, we do it. Second is the Omicron and all those. I don't know how many more variants are there. So
Yeah.
people are confused as to what should we do? Should we
Yeah.
stay home? Should we go to work? Should we do this? How much should I care? How much should I be careful? See, one thing that has not changed is the way they will build relationships, be it online or offline or remote or partially remote, partially here. That has not changed. So sometimes we end up using all the tools that we have to consume more information. We all keep on consuming, but no transformation happens without action. So
Yes.
we cannot use this as an excuse to say, what can we do? We can't meet people. So the people who look at possibilities in any problem, they will start thriving. People who look at problems wherever there are possibilities, because I can't do this because see, I can't meet
Yeah.
people. So they will have trouble. And it's not nothing to do with the environment, because the same environment exists for all of us. So I use technology as an amplifier, because that's how I think about it. So
I
my
love it.
teacher, in the early days of philosophy, there was a textbook for us called Computers and Cognition. It's a very dense textbook, and we made us read through everything. So for the same computer exists in front of everybody. But with you, Vicky, what you have done is you take the StreamYard. StreamYard is available to everyone, but it goes to so many different platforms, and it didn't happen overnight. You said, you know what? Let me look at a StreamYard. Let me prepare for it, and then let me click a button, and we'll reach tens of thousands of people. It's available for everyone, but you took the time to do it. but
I
the
see.
taking the time to do it is what people are missing. So you can use technology on a surface level and get a mediocre or slightly more than average results, or we can say it's available to me. How much more can I extract out of it? What I'm coming to in summary is it's not about new technology. It's, are we using the existing technology to the fullest extent? Most probably not.
That is an important thing that you say right now with technology, because it's using it to the fullest extent. And it's interesting because some of the things you've run over just really, and this to me, this is the point right here. Such a great point. Relationships don't change whether they're meeting like this or online, because honestly, we haven't met in person for years right now. We always use technology to talk. And so it's interesting how that a lot of people think technology is for entertainment and or business and or, but spreading your message and getting your message out and being able to use it at its full capacity means just exactly what you said. You have to take an action on it. That's so true. I want to pop over here. Use technology as an amplifier. Nobody ever thinks that's what we can do with it. So succinct, almost a head slapper. It is that, oh, duh. And so being able to act upon technology, you're right. There is no invitation for you to take an action. You have to lean into technology and be able to take that action. Let me ask you something. On the on the tech front, on the communications front, one of the things that you said, whether it was remote or not, I mean, some people really enjoy the remote work, whether it's remote or not, that happens to be, I think, what the future is going to be about is remote contact and or getting your message out to the masses. Now, I know that you've spoke at Awesome Fest on stage. I've spoke on stage with you at other events, Impact, etc. And I wonder, what do you think is going to happen? Is it going to ever go back to, live events as usual, or is this marriage between technology and communicating going to stay the same? Or what do you think that's going to be in the future? Just want to say hi to Peter. He popped on. Nice to see you, my friend.
Very nice. So basically, I have a feeling that people who were thinking that remote work is not possible in certain industries, like there are some CEOs who said, "Oh, in our case, remote is not possible because that's why everybody should come to the office." Even those people have figured out that anything is possible, almost remote. I mean, people who have never met a doctor through a webcam, they said, with my doctor, I have to meet the doctor in person because how will you know? That all has changing. There are sensors available. So many things are happening. So
Mm-hmm.
first thing that has happened is the whole world knows that lots of things, except you go and eat something that has to be still done. You can't just remotely pop a pill, so that's not possible. But other than that, right, so most of it is possible. So that's a whole new, when that happens, most people think that, see, that has so many problems, but they forget that that has created so many new possibilities,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
basically, there is enough things out there. And whether things will come back to normal, I'm thinking it is the new normal. There is no
Yeah.
normal per se. It's the new normal becomes the normal. In
Yeah.
fact, for people who like you and I probably have seen the floppy disks, and
Yeah.
if for those people who are not grown up with the floppy disk, if you say floppy disk, will it flap or flop or what? What is floppy disk? What has it this got to do? And if you say this could hold like 1 megabyte, and they will say 1 megabyte, what do I do with it? I can't even put my like logo file there, right?
Oh God, you're aging us right now so badly. But I remember those two, the floppy disk. It's so
Yes,
old right now.
that's right. So for them, there's no. It's impossible to even imagine that there was a time when you had to connect to the internet. It will say, "King," and then attempting once, attempting twice, 6 times, your breakout, you have to log in again. Those things are impossible, right? So basically, now in the new normal, people who are brought up, they will not even know the difference. It's only us who are going through the transition. So otherwise, there is no. It is the normal for people. Always on is the normal, so which was not true before. So I'm thinking, what will happen is people get adjust to the speed at which things are changing. That is
Yeah.
what is not being. People say, "Oh, it should not happen. It should not. It is happening. It is
Yeah.
not like you have a choice about it."
You're arguing with reality then if
Yes.
you're like, it's not happening. It should go back. Yeah. It's interesting that you say this because I believe technology can really be used for good. And I believe technology can be really used for not quite so good.
Yes.
And the choices that we have about how we're going to embrace the future of technology has a lot to do with the individual. A lot of people see technology as a form of entertainment. It's just gaming and movies and downstream, etc. A lot of people see it as a business tool. And that business tool is, here's my website, here's my products, here's what I sell, etc. And a lot of people understand the kind of holistic view of technology, which is you can use it to get your message out, create relationships, have your business, see your friends and family, meet your doctor. There are so many things that can happen with this technology. And I love that you said it was the new normal. I remember back when I think I was maybe a sophomore in high school. They had this, and that back when I was in high school, there was a 19 in front of the year and the date. So it was like 19. That's when I went to high school. But back then, I remember seeing this movie, and it was on the real film that
Mm.
was, back in the day. And it told us that we were going to be able to talk on the phone to somebody and see their picture at the same time. And I remember thinking to myself, no way. How are they going to take that phone and make it a screen? How is that going to happen? Because it was so disbelief. And now I can broadcast an entire show around the world all at once. And the power of that, if you think about the amount of power that is in the control of a person who wants to take action and learn the technology, the power that just this little thing has right here in order to have us take pictures, make movies, run our business from, it is absolutely amazing. And I want to talk a little bit about what Silicon Valley projects you think right now are coming up that are going to be entering that new normal. And I also want to pop this up here. For some things feel eerily normal, going out to the pub, seeing family and friends, but others may never feel settled again. Yes, it is completely a different world right now. I want to go back to the question though and say, what kind of things, like I think blockchain is going to be huge. It's going to turn everything upside down. But the good thing is, I also think it is going to really remove corruption. I think blockchain has got a lot of abilities to um, just create a ball of corruption and throw it out of everything.
I, there is so much that's happening, but I also want to go back to your point and also say a few things about how the technology has improved and the smartphone, how much power is there. When I came to United States, the first thing I realized is I have so much time. Why? Because when I was growing up in a village, Vicky, there was one phone for the whole village. The post office had the phone, and then when the phone comes, there will be somebody who will say, "Oh, I need to talk to this Mr. and Mrs. Somebody." There will be one person who will come running and saying, "There is a call for you." I asked them to call back again. Can you be there in the post office in 15 minutes? So you can imagine what we were growing up with. And this used to happen all day and all night long. So there is, and you can imagine if I wanted to pay my electricity bill, it would take me 4 hours because 1.5 hours to go, 1 hour to stand in the queue, 1.5 hours to come back. So when you come here and somebody, one of my neighbors said, "Oh, there is a power cut," I said, "Okay," because power used to get cut 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the evening in our village. So power cut is not a problem. So when I see people, when somebody says, "I don't have time," I said, "What are they doing? What are they using time for?" I have all the time in the world. And that's why I started many companies, wrote many books. Because in my mind, time is available everywhere because the cognitive surplus is huge. But for somebody who has been always sort of consumed by other things, which are, there is enough media houses that are catching your attention. Attention is yours, it's not theirs. Sometimes somebody says, have you watched this TV, some latest Narcos or anything? I said no, and because I want to be in the conversation, I would watch the 15 minutes of the first episode and the 15 minutes of the last episode, so I can talk about it. That's all. So I think, oh, that's the ending climax was really good because I don't really care, but I will at least be in the
I'm gonna
conversation.
have to take that on because you know what? I don't watch much TV or anything any at all. I mean, I can look at a People magazine and be like, I know have no idea who's on that magazine. But I love what you just said about time and attention. And it's where
Right.
you focus your time and attention right now. And that most people don't want to be able to look at that piece and go, oh, I am in really, there's a lot of control in my day and my time right now. I have a lot of that. And so for me, that is the biggest point of
Correct.
technology right now. It is
Exactly.
putting the power in your hands, and what you do with it or how you understand it or learn it, that is going to make all the difference. I mean, a lot of people cannot think that, oh my gosh, I can run an entire business off this phone, off this piece of equipment. I can run my whole business from my phone. So many people that's unheard of back in those days. And oh, I
Correct.
can work from home, unheard of.
Correct. See, the last time I read a newspaper or watched a news channel was in 1997. And I'm in Silicon Valley. I've not missed anything because the really good news anyway percolates upwards, right? So I don't have to worry because I'm all about curating input. Forget about
Mhm.
everything. So I look at thoughts as paying guests. When a thought is there, either I
Paying
pay for it
guests.
or the thought pays me. If I am paying for it, I say give it an eviction notice. When you do meditation, yoga, and everything for a long time, you can even watch your thoughts. You can say, you can have conversations with it. Sometimes more some thoughts are just there to mess with the inner circle. So I say, no, please, there is no space for you. And I say,
That's
no, no,
right.
I'll just sneak in. I'll be just there for 1 or 2 days. No, I'm sorry, you're not allowed because I want
That's
my inner
right.
space to be very, very clean. So every paying thought is a paying guest where it pays me, not that I have to pay it. Because why should we pay for anything? Because it's our inner space, and as long as we keep it guarded, we win the inner world, and then we can capitalize on our skills to create a better outer world. That's how I think about it.
I think that is so beautiful what you just said. I mean, I could feel my heart go up in my throat when we take a look at thoughts. They're paying guests, and
Yes,
either you're going to pay them or they're going to pay you. And in
correct.
order to really get that, that was so beautiful to understand it in that way that thoughts are paying guests. Either they're going to pay you or you're going to pay them. If I have to pay them, they're out. And, if they pay me, then they have a while to be there. And that's such an expressive way, such a simple way of managing your mind in that way. And I want to talk about and I want to move from technology. It's all great and blah, blah, blah. Thank you for that. I want to talk about how technology is serving transformation. I want to talk about. I want to actually talk about Audvisor right now a little bit because it's so brilliant, so fast, such an amazing tool, and I absolutely think that apps and learning and online learning, I honestly believe that's really going to take off. I think we're just seeing the beta of it right now. And let's talk about that and let's tell them what it is. I should pull
Yes.
it up on my app, but I'm just going to, let you
Yeah.
share it with people.
First of all, thanks to experts like you are part of Audvisor, which is like audio advisor. For me, we call it Audvisor, AUDVISISOR. And there, what I have done is I reach out to people like you, Vicky, and a bunch of about 135 odd experts like Tom Peters, Seth Godin, Guy Kawasaki, Vinod Khosla, my friend who is the creator of Google Glass, all of them. And I said, can you share your wisdom in 3 minutes or less? That's all I asked them, because I'm all about the metric that when we wanted to create that app, we wanted to create the least used but most useful app, because we don't want people to get consumed by our app. People like you have given wisdom in 3 minutes or less. I don't want them to say, "Oh, let me collect all the wisdom that Vicky has given, so I'll spend 1 hour, 2 hours with." No, every single piece of wisdom that Vicky and other experts have given has actionable insight. That means you will get the value only if you act on it. Otherwise,
Mhm.
it'll just be like a intellectual entertainment. Oh, I know what Vicky has shared there. It's all good, and you will be good in a cocktail party. But nothing will happen, isn't it? You will look smart, but you won't get the results a smart person will get. You will act smart, look smart, but only if you take action, then it happens. So our goal is come here, spend 15-20 minutes a week with our app, and then your life will change. But only if you take action. Otherwise, you will just feel like you are just
Yeah.
intelligent. That's what you will feel.
This is I'm going to pull it up here. Uh uh, you know, it's kind of the uh snippet wisdom that is shared in the app. And I have so many apps. But it's Audvisor. It's Audvisor. And I'm just going to tap on it right here so that people can see it. This is right here, the app. You can go
Yes.
into the App Store and just get the app right there. And what ends up happening with the app is it's just on my phone right there. There's
Yes.
the app right there. And what happens is, believe it or not, short snippets of education right now are like the way to go. It's actionable things in 3 minutes. So instead of being inundated with a list of checklists of tasks and things like that, what if you had just a short applicable right now, take action kind of thing for your business, for yourself, for your personal development? Everybody thinks that personal development has to be a week at this place and a week at that place. But what happens when we spend a week at these places? At the end of the week, we're all like, yay, and then we go home. And because we don't have that activity, we just kind of
Yes.
down. And so that inspiration and motivation and that next action on that app, you go ahead, pull that person you were just at their event or you were just in their class, and there they are. And that bit of 3 minutes, 3 minutes, if you have not 3 minutes to get your mind and your spirit in that place of continued success every single day, this is the point of Audiovisor, and it's really great done in the snippet because you can listen to it in between point A or point B, and then right away it's there. I love the idea of having this. Thank you for this. It's wisdom in 3 minutes or less, gold nuggets for living life. And Audiovisor is available in the App Store. Just go find it. You will find the top experts in the world. I mean, what we got Seth Godin on there. I mean, there's a lot of people that are there that are the top experts in the world on this particular app, sharing their 3 minutes worth of wisdom so that you can act upon it right then. And I want to know, why did you create it? Why did you create this app? What was the purpose? What was your forethought for this app?
Yeah, one of the things that I found is when I was consulting for Audible was that people would buy audiobooks, and even actually I am also guilty for it. I buy a lot of books and then I don't read all of them, so it's like half read and everything. Sometimes the books are not that good. The marketing is good, the book is not that good.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
right.
also is there.
Yeah.
But I always say, when somebody read a book or somebody went to a talk, I always say, what was the biggest takeaway from that book? What was the biggest takeaway from that talk? And I said, for people who think they are busy, because most of them are lazy, that but use busy as a cover. So for people who actually think they are busy, what could we give them? Right? So what could we give them? At least they may not have the time to attend a complete conference. Reading a book will take 15 to 20 hours. What if we get collected from the authors directly? What were the biggest takeaways that they can have that are actionable? So when they get it, they just say, I got it, and they actually go and implement. So in reality, our goal is to make them get the best wisdom from somebody's head into their platter, and now they just have to act on it. So busy and smart, but get the right wisdom and ready to act is our core. If you're smart and busy, we have the answer for you.
See, and that's it. Smart and busy is that. It's so interesting because every single day, part of the thing, and I honestly think this is part of the thing that's made me wealthy as well, is that every single day I read for at least an hour, and then I will take a training for at least an hour. And one of the things I like about the training versus the reading is I can only read as fast as I can read. And although I love to read, I wish I could speed read and finish like 3 books in a day. But when you get to the point where you're watching a video and it's a learning video, you can always speed it up. You can speed that training up so you can absorb it. And I do that every single day. I spend 2 hours a day educating myself consistently. And I've done that for decades. And I think that has helped me over the time. And one of the things that I really like about the app is that, when you're driving or you're walking or whatever, you can bring your classroom with you. You can bring the best of the best people with you. And instead of putting that hour in there, if you just get that piece of wisdom and that action right in that moment, when you get home, you can take that next step. You know what you're going to do to take that next step and create your. And it's not just business. I want to be really clear. There's self improvement, relationship. There is every category that you could go into this app and press that app and suddenly have 3 minutes. And I will tell you, how you can turn around your mindset. Because remember, he talked earlier about the thoughts coming in. Either you're paying them or they're paying you, and that's it, right? So if you have to pay a thought, that thought needs to get out. And if you have to let a thought in and they're paying you, then you keep that thought in. Well, if you are trying to figure out how to get rid of that gnarly thought that you have that you want out, then all you have to do is pick that audio visor up, hit that app, pull that 3 minutes up, and change your state right in the moment, right then. Because it's a practice. That's why we do meditation and things like that. It's a practice to train your mind to be aware enough and mindful enough as to what thought is coming in that you're paying for or is paying you. And when you have tips and tools and techniques that you can use that are going to help you win that battle, can you see how much more success you would have or more self-esteem? This is the whole point of having the Audvisor app. And the purpose of being able to go through it and actually, I know he has it for the busy people, but I want to tell you the first couple of days, like the first 7 days through the app, I couldn't get off it. I kept looking and pushing the button and listening to the next person and listening to the next person. It's kind of addictive a little bit. I really like it. And it's great to start your day and implement the first 3 minutes, like when you're getting up and you're stretching, or you're before you get ready for meditation, or even after meditation, you pull that app up and listen for 3 minutes and get that next piece of it inside you. It's the way it's you set your tone, you set your day, and you set that moment. So if you is who's the app designed for? It's not just busy people, but it's people who are really, I'm a lifelong learner. I want
Yes,
to keep learning like that, you know? And I think
100,
the creation of the app is for that as well. Yes?
100%. In fact, I want to go to one of my dear mentors. She wrote a book called Susan. Her name is Susan Scott. She wrote a book called Fierce Conversations.
Mhm.
So, in fact, Vicky, I would have never picked up that book in the library because I'm not, nothing about me is anything to do with fears. Of course, then in the context of the book is that there is nothing fierce in it. It's like authentic conversations.
Yeah.
And I want to summarize that whole book, 600-page book, in two sentences with your permission. Shall I do
Yes.
it?
Yes.
So it goes like this. While there is no guarantee that any single conversation can change the trajectory of your life, career, business, or a relationship, any single conversation can. What is the conversation that has your name on it? Now, one
Mm.
conversation is all it takes to change your trajectory of your life, career, business, or a relationship. We have 3,000 such nuggets of wisdom in Audvisor. So, if somebody wants to change their life, all it requires is click, and who knows, the next micro podcast will be the one that will change their career, trajectory of their career, life, business, or a relationship. That's the power that we have packed.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Micro podcast to change your life. And Peter, I want to say, I see this. Let's see. This sounds like a great app to use. If someone improves 1% per day, you'll be better 800% in 12 months using that app. That's right.
That
And
is
that's the whole point of micro podcasting and micro training. And, you know, they say, what is that? Micro habits that you install right then. The micro habit of installing right then is a
yes.
thing that's going to up level you. And that's the beauty of this app. It is that micro training, that micro consistent act. Thank you. Let's see. Love that we've done that as well. Amazing and some unexpected results. Yes, I want to let you know that that micro habit means that even a busy person, or those who profess to be busy but really aren't, those habits right there that you have, that you install, those habits are what creates your new world, your new life, your new beingness, your new stepping up. Those habits, the app, when it gives you that new thing to do, you can just implement it and listen to 1 3-minute thing a day. Is exactly what he said. That's 1% a day. That's 800% in 12 months. Thank you for that, Peter. So I want to talk about how the, I want to move this into how the self improvement industry, because I want to talk about, I know that you're on the board for Mind Valley as well, which is to me another incredible app that does self improvement, etc. And where do you see the industry of online self improvement, so to speak, the self serve self improvement? How do you see that industry booming? How do you see, where does that industry go as we start moving forward with all these abilities to take action online and use technology to help us create the life we want to have?
It's a very good question, Vicky. So first of all, I'll bring it down to first the bare bone basics. So self-improvement has a hot and cold response, as you know.
Mhm.
Sometimes people say self-improvement means why do they need it? It's some charlatan to putting a book together, something
Yeah,
that looks cool. So I don't know. Most of it is nonsense and all those things. So basically, sometimes the industry also has there is so much money in it. Sometimes people will come with a flimsy little concept and make it a book when it could be just a one blog post or even a
yes.
tweet,
Yeah,
right? What happens is people think about it. So one book can change somebody's life at a particular age. After 20 years of experience, that book looks like kindergarten stuff.
that's
So
right.
and then you can diss it saying that hey, that book has nothing in it. If the same book, if it was read by when they were
Yeah.
20 years younger, they would have said, "Wow, this was amazing."
Yeah.
Right? So,
Yeah.
see, people tend to judge based on where they are, and then
That's
in
right.
relation to that, this particular book is right or wrong. But moving back to where it will grow, finally, I think if you think about it, there are only two activities people are doing. One is they're creating value, or they're increasing their capacity to create more value in the future. Those are only two
Mm.
things. They're practicing something that is producing value, otherwise, they can't survive in this planet, isn't it? So,
That's tr-
or they're increasing their capacity to produce more value. And when technology moves at such a rapid rate, I don't know whether you heard Yuval Noah Harari, the Sapiens person. He said very soon we will have about what is it, 3 billion people who will be in what is called as a useless class. He was not using
yeah.
it in any derogatory fashion. He was telling, see, I don't know whether you heard of this robot called Ella in Singapore. It is replacing all the coffee shops in the MRT train stations, all 30 of them, with a robotic coffee thing. Why? Because it can serve coffee four and a half times more faster than the human being, and exactly to the point. Make two shots of that, and the shot. People take personalization extremely like complicated, but Ella can do everything for them, and without any never miss a beat. So now,
Yeah.
what happens to all the people who are serving coffee there? They
Hmm.
become the useless class. And you can explain to them saying that, hey, but it's also creating jobs that will create robots, maintain robots. But the coffee vending person is not going to have the capacity to go and start manufacturing robots. So basically,
Yeah.
you leave them in the lurch. So at that time, what happens? Lifelong learning will not become a fancy stuff, will not become a luxury. It becomes a mode of survival. They cannot
Yes.
not have it. So, in all those things, we will finally get the visibility that self-improvement industry should have got, because without that, there is no way. What will happen? I mean, suddenly, imagine the truck drivers. There are thousands and thousands of them.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, one fine day, it's not all of a sudden, it's already happening, but for them, it looked like all of a sudden, our fleet was replaced with uh, auto
S-
driving trucks, like autonomous trucks, autonomous driving vehicles. And then what do we do now? It was happening over the last 15 years. What were you waiting for? Isn't it? So,
Yeah.
they were lifelong learners. They would not be shocked and surprised. So, that's where it's not too late to start. So, if somebody was
Yeah.
a lifelong learner, they can make a point today to say, from today onwards, I'm going to be a lifelong learner. So,
Yeah.
you cannot, you don't have any excuse anymore with the tools like Audvisor, Mind Valley, and all the so many things are there. There is no excuse that you can say, "Oh, I can't be a lifelong learner because the tools are not available."
Yeah. The tools are there.
And it's not. It's easily affordable too. So it's not very expensive. And if you don't want to pay for it, even just on this show, how much are they paying for this show? Zero,
That's right.
isn't it? So you
Yeah.
cannot say, "Oh, well, where will I pay the money for?" Well, you can apply for a refund, but you didn't pay anything, so we can't help you there, isn't it?
This is some of the most important stuff right here because I think for the first time in world history, everything is knowable. Whether it even the spiritual teachings of the greatest teachers that you could not even find, you can find now. There
Yes,
is that evidence there. And you're right, lifelong learning is going to be, it's like that the book Sapien, when they talk about the useless class coming up because
yes,
of what's happening. This is very serious. We are moving into that right now. And there has been really a what do we do now? What do we do now? What do we do now? Kind of mentality that somehow people want to see jobs come back in a way that they're not going to come back. I loved what you talked about the robot, especially there's another robot that was that's out right now that is being sold as a franchise that serves
Mm.
ice cream because it serves ice
Oh,
cream that fast and everything else, right? So it's like a vending machine business for the owner. But I also know one of the things that people have talked about, these smart vehicles coming up where you don't need drivers, et cetera, that's going to be in our future. There is a point where people will buy a car and put it on Uber and let it completely 24 hours a day, drive people around and drop them off in places when they don't even have to be in the car to drive the car because the car is just smart in that way. And I think, that's kind of a franchise business, isn't it? So
yes,
maybe you have a fleet of these cars that are now Uber drivers
yes,
for you, and there's your new kind of business that you have. The thing
correct.
is, if you don't learn about it, you can't find it or invest it or investigate it.
100%. So we talked about the ice cream business. You are in the ice cream business, if I'm not mistaken. Ice cream business.
You are correct. I have been in the ice cream business before.
Yeah. Now think
Well, we
about.
are old friends.
Yeah. Now you think about it. So let's say the robot replaces, but what it cannot replace is the warmth that you bring people. And somebody will say, Vicky, what should I, my kid's birthday is coming. What do you think is the best possible combination? What else? What ideas do you have? That the robot cannot do. At least for now, it cannot
That's
do.
right.
See, that's
It's
why
you
the
still
thoughtfulness,
needed.
caring, and the relationship building. Robot will not say, "Hey, okay, when can we meet? Shall we talk in the weekend? What is happening? How is your son doing?" No, what the robot cannot do,
Not
right?
yet.
Yes, they can go to any other shop with a robotic ice cream vendor, but the relationship, the equity that you have built can never be taken away. That's what people should realize, that what money cannot buy, what money cannot
Yes.
afford, you cannot be transacted with money, is the caring for what the other person cares about.
Mm.
There is no caring robot yet. It's only if you want to care about what the other person cares about, you still need a human being, and that gets a premium that cannot be taken away by money.
Yes. And that's the whole point of that, because the human, the art and the ideas and the creativity and imagination, all of those things that are, strictly human right now, those things you can use. Like I know a lot of people see this as, okay, here's the coffee break show. They're doing a show, but it actually is, for me, a piece of art. It is a piece of art where that communication and that conversation can happen. And everybody has the same access that I have to create this kind of audience, to create this kind of conversations, which I think are so important. But it's the same with a book. We see that when I write a book right now, I can go to Amazon and put it up there and do all the marketing. Amazon's technology takes what I've created and creates distribution for it.
Yes.
This is the same thing. This is a distribution channel that is everywhere around the world all at once. The amount of power and the amount of ability to have connection, even though robots and software and AI serve that, you still have to be in the driver's seat of your own humanity, whether you're connecting to an audience, writing a book, or being on a show with someone. That's so true. I absolutely love that. We think we're being left out of this future, but it's not. It's actually what's more available to you right now through these things that we have, like apps. Everybody has the ability to make an app as well. Take that idea and make it. That's how the technology, I think, serves humanity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, Vicky. See, see, for example, see, we all have the ability to care beyond what, as if it's our own. So the
Hmm.
a robot cannot ever do it, at least in the near future, isn't it? See, so we both wanted to. We wanted me on the show. It took you one text message. Will you be on the show? Yes. If the robot sent me that message, I'll say, "Well, what? Who are you?" So it would not make the same sense. The relationship that we have built over the years, a request will be answered in the matter of seconds or minutes. So that kind of relationship the robots or any technology cannot have. That's the power that we have to capitalize on, and now use the technology, not get used by the technology, but use the
That's right.
technology so that we can amplify the relationship, the equity that we have built, the trust that we have built, the caring that we have built for each other. Everything can be amplified by technology, and not worry about, oh my God, is technology taking away? But forget about it's taking away. What new possibilities has the technology created that we're not capitalizing on? That is where the magic is.
That is. It's where the magic is. And I also want to say it's also where the monetization is. There's a
Yeah.
lot of things that can happen through technology right now. Here's what I want to say.
Hmm.
I want to share that going into 2022, you're going to have to make decisions in your life. You're going to have to make some
Yeah.
decisions. And one of them, I think, if you absolutely want to help yourself, I want to share with you what it is. Everybody always talks about how can I be the best me, or how can I be the best this or that or the other. Well, you have to implement some actions into your day that are micro actions. They don't have to be ginormous changes, they have to be micro changes. And one of those changes is that maybe you read an hour a day, or maybe you get and you think, okay, I got 3 minutes. I want to listen to one Audvisor a day. Now, imagine listening to one Audvisor a day for 365 days.
Wow.
Who would you be? What would you know? Who will you have become? What kind of success will you have at the end of this? This to me is that's why this app is so important to me, because in the app, and I want to let you know, if you get the app or not, it doesn't benefit me. I already have the app, I already use the app, it benefits you. And so, what happens with this is if you implement that one change, that one micro change, instead of making a New Year's list, here's the New Year's list of stuff that I'm going to quit on by month number 3. Just implement one micro change. Go get this app. And here's the thing. Um, I want to ask you if is there a code they can have for the app or
Yes.
whatever else. But if you implement one small change right now, a 3-minute a day change, who will you be? What will you have accomplished? Who will you become? How will you serve yourself better? You think you can, here, I'll take $20,000 and I'll go over here and I'll spend it on this. And at the end of this week that I've spent with this big, guru of some sort, and then suddenly my performance starts going down, isn't that a waste of $20,000? I mean, so how do you create consistent action? Well, 3 minutes a day. So where can they get the app? Is there a
Yes.
code?
Yes.
Let's do that part. And Robin, will you put it in there for everyone when he talks about it?
Yeah, yeah. With my accent, somebody has to put it in the code. Put it in there anyway. So
I love your accent. You're doing
yes.
great.
So I lived in 7 countries. I tried to change my accent 7 different times, and then I gave up. I said, I'll talk slowly, but I cannot change so many times. So the website is audvisor.com, like it's audio advisor, AUDVISOR.com. And if they go to this URL, audvisor.com/R like Robert, S like Sam, A like Apple, N like Nancy, RSAN, they will get a discount. I'll leave it as a surprise, but it'll be a huge discount. So that's
Okay, so it's AUD. You
VI,
have it's VI. Take out the IO. It's AUDVISOR.com. It's Audvisor, as in
yeah,
audio visor, but Audvisor, AUDVISOR.com /
R like Robert,
R
S
like
like Sam,
Robert,
S like Sam, A like Apple, N like Nancy, RSAN.
RSAN,
Yes.
RSAN. So audiovisor.com, audvisor.com / RASN. And Robin, thank you very much. There it is, RASN. This is it. Now, listen, if you're driving in the car, because some of you have already
Yeah.
told me that you're driving in your car, you're listening on Pandora, or iHeartRadio, Roku TV, or Amazon TV, wherever you are. In the show notes today, right there is the link. It is audvisor.com, RSAN. And evidently, it's a surprise as to how big the link is or whatever it is. Thanks for the clarity. You're welcome. Thanks for putting that up there. Just relax. It's on screen right now. Even if you hashtag replay this conversation, we'll leave this up for a bit. Robin's got it in there. It's in the note. It's going to be in the show notes. You want to make a definite change in your practices that you do daily in order for you to achieve the kind of success you want moving forward. And if you have 3 minutes a day to change your life, if you have 3 minutes a day to change your year, if you have 3 minutes a day to change your success and the trajectory of your success, wouldn't that be important to you? Wouldn't it be something that you think you could invest in for that time, 3 minutes a day to change that piece of life? The reason I say this is because it is these micro successes that I specifically put in place, these micro achievements right now. You see, success isn't one big quantum leap. It's a series of actions that you put into place, a series of actions that are daily, weekly, monthly, and then, quarterly and yearly that create an outcome. And instead of just saying, here's what I want to accomplish next year and then petering out on it, implement something that is going to help you actually achieve the thing that you wanted to achieve. This is the thing. You're either going to spend the next year letting yourself pay for the thoughts that are in your head or having the thoughts in your head pay you. Which of those two things do you want to implement? And if you do, you want to take the first step and actually go ahead and get the app and download it. Now, I'm not making anything on this app. You guys know that we do not do that. It would be a conflict of interest. But I am telling you, if you want to be a lifelong learner and you want to avoid being the useless class, if you want to avoid being put out to pasture because you don't know where to go or what to do or how to move forward, then you're going to have to take an action right now. So if you're one of those people who just said, I'm not going to work, or I'm now resignated, I've a part of the great resignation, and you're thinking, where's my new life? What do I want to do? How do I want to be? Who do I want to become? What's open to me? This one app with over 135 experts on it. And I mean big time experts, not your local expert. I mean global experts on it. And that includes myself when I say that. In that expertise right there, you can have all of these people share their wisdom about the future, what's going to happen or what's going to be there. This is one of the greatest tools you can start with right now. And I want to say that this isn't the only thing. You can read some of it. He's got a couple of multi-selling best-selling books out right now, and they're written in such a way. There's a couple of them that are out right now that Rajesh, they're on Amazon. Yes,
Yeah.
they can get your books on Amazon. And the two books, I know you have a couple of kids' books out as well, but you have
There's one called 6 Foot World, which I wrote
that's
during the pandemic.
that's right. The 6 Foot World is out right now. And this 6 Foot World is, if just go read it, go get your copy of it. And I want to leave that open because I know that's going to be a topic on another particular show. And
Yeah.
I want to be able to do that. But I just want to say one last thing. And I want for you to say, if you had anything right now that you wanted to say to the world for the past, future, or going forward, or if I've left anything out, uh, and Robin, would you put the link for the book and on Amazon? Thank you. I said it and it popped right up. Here is the link. Here is the link to the 6 Foot World. 6 Foot World. It's on Amazon. It's in the show notes on the screen. It just looks like code, Amazon code, but in the screen down below, just click it and get your copy of that. And if you think he's dropped a lot of wisdom bombs today, you ain't seen nothing yet. This is nothing. We've just had fun, really. But what's the last couple of things you'd like to share with our audience before we close out this show so that they can, meet you, love you, know you, and love you as much as I do?
Thank you so much, Vicky. I'll share a couple of things. First is on how to use the app itself. You said it brilliantly. I also use this as a way to spread more caring. See, for example, any insight that you get from a book or from a movie or from a audio book or from a talk or something, it's always going to be at a conceptual level. It is the responsibility of the person to make it contextual, isn't it? In my context, how can I use it? In your case, let's say we are applying it to an ice cream business. What can I do in the ice cream business? Or as an author, you can say, what can I do in the next book that I am writing or in the next talk I am taking? But I also know that some of them may not be immediately applicable to you, but it may be applicable to one of your friends. They are in the trucking business, and maybe it's not applicable to ice cream business, it's applicable. The idea is take the next 1 minute and send them this idea, either to a voice note or something, and say, maybe it's useful to you. Because now you demonstrated that you care for what they care about in a minute or less, isn't it? So
Hmm.
imagine you listen to one or two of this. If it is applicable to you, act on it. If it is not applicable to you, immediately make it point to think about it. If it is applicable to four or five of your friends, use the time next 5-10 minutes to spread the idea because you will be like a Santa Claus, like spreading ideas that will make their life even more better, isn't it? So, in the last few years, what my complete research is that what can I say something that will give them an instant transformation? Like right now, how can somebody transform themselves in the next 3 minutes? Like I'll give one such idea. So in the last few years, I have never had a bad meeting. And when I say it, I'm not saying to brag it because there's a simple trick that I do. I pre-like people. So when I say pre-like people, as soon as you come into the screen,
Pre-like people.
I will already have pre-liked you. It does not mean that, first of all, there is nobody who will not like you because you are an awesome person. But supposedly we both were strangers. You are the very first time I'm seeing you. I didn't know who was Vicky Helm. I would have pre-liked Vicky because I can choose to pre-like you because if I don't pre-like you, I come with a prejudice. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Usually there is a prejudice, and the way to kill prejudice is to pre-like the people. So suppose you are a
Mm.
stranger and I say, I like Vicky. Now, I'm not expecting Vicky to like me back because that's too much to ask. Because I cannot say, oh, the rule of reciprocity, Vicky has to like me, otherwise I won't like. No, there are no rules. But I pre-like Vicky without any condition. Now, whatever she wants, she can do. She can pre-like me or not like me, but she cannot stop me from liking her. She cannot. She can take me to court. The judge will laugh at her, saying that this guy is a stranger. She came on the show and then he started liking me. Judge, are you out of your mind? So everybody wants people to like you. So nothing can happen because when I like someone, what will happen? I will only see things more from him or her to like them more because I'll see possibility. I won't see problems. But if I come with a prejudice, then I'm a biased opinion. I'm just looking for more things to be cagey or like careful or something. Pre like the people, you'll never have a bad meeting. How about that for the closing comment?
That is absolutely heaven. Pre-like people. Just decide in your heart and in your mind that you're going to pre-like people,
Yes,
not with them reciprocating that pre-like, but just absolutely, that's right. What a beautiful attitude and viewpoint on life. This is why, my friend, you and I are friends right now. The pre-liking, the pre-loving, the amazing wisdom you have. It has been just the most amazing time with you. And I don't get a lot of time with him because he's busy and I'm busy and we're just busy, busy, busy. But today has warmed my heart in ways that I can't even tell you. I absolutely enjoy you. I love you to death. Go get the Audvisor app right now so that you can succinctly do something. The code for it is inside the it's already inside Pre-like People, Rajesh Setty. And here is the book. You can go get the 6-Foot World book as well. And thank you for being on the show with us today. And right now, you know what it's time. It's time to hear the music. We'll see you next week. All right.
very
See you
much.
later. Bye bye.